As Mikel Arteta's search for a new wide forward continues, the transfer links remain plentiful. So in today's video, let's discuss if Leroy Sane could be available for £50 million. Whether Arsenal have Pedro Neto in their sights, are the Gunners eyeing up a midfielder from Milan, and could Fabio Vieira make his Arsenal debut this weekend? Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is Babs14 and welcome back to your boys channel. I just want to shout out to all of you guys that tune in on a daily basis, and if you do enjoy the content, don't forget to go down there to smash a like and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. The giveaway for the brand new Arsenal kit is still ongoing, so if you want to win that, all the details of how to win it are down below in the description. But let's get into the latest Arsenal transfer news, and let's start off with the transfer that is the closest to completion, and that is an outgoing. As Fabio Romano confirms that Arsenal are set to complete another outgoing after Lucas Torreira. Pablo Mari leaves the club and joins Italian Serie A side Monza. A full agreement is now reached and it's a done deal. And in terms of the formula of the transfer itself, Gianluca Di Marzio can confirm it is a loan transfer with an obligation to purchase for around €5 million should the Serie A club stay up this season. And even in terms of the man himself, here is a video of Pablo Mari arriving in Italy to complete his transfer to Monza. It's not the best deal ever, but again, it's money into the bank, and after the departures of Bernd Leno and Lucas Torreira, Pablo Mari is the latest in the line as Arsenal pick up the pace in terms of the outgoings. But Pablo Mari isn't the only Spanish player on his way out of the Emirates, because as per Fabio Romano, Hector Bellerin's agent is in London to meet with the Arsenal board, as discussions are ongoing to terminate his Arsenal contract, as Bellerin has asked to return to Real Betis as soon as possible, as it is priority. The meeting we talked about a few days ago confirmed by Fabio Romano, and in terms of the outcome of the meeting, according to Kerry News of Goal España, the agreement has been reached between Arsenal and Hector Bellerin to rescind his contract. It's very obvious that Arsenal would have loved to have got a transfer fee, but in this case, they are accepting the desires of the player, respecting his services to the club, and in exchange they won't have to pay the remaining wages of around €5 million to the player. So ultimately, once again, it's money saved for Arsenal Football Club. But let's put the departures to one side and talk about some potential incomings, as the Mirror are reporting that Leroy Sane, Moussa Diaby, Pedro Neto, Cody Gakpo, Yeremy Pino, Gerard Bowen and Marco Asensio are currently at the top of the list for wingers for Arsenal. There's quite a few names there and there, but the one that stands out straight away is Leroy Sane, 26 years of age, German international, thrived at Man City under Mikel Arteta and currently plays for Bayern Munich. But at that club, despite getting 14 goals and 15 assists last season, there are many reports that have claimed that people behind the scenes at Bayern aren't happy with the overall performances of the player, and that could potentially make him available for a transfer. In fact, according to Florian Plettenberg of Sky Germany, he claims that Sane is not completely unsellable for Bayern. With offers of €60 to €70 million, the club would at least listen. Internally, the player divides opinion. This year will be crucial for Sane, with the club hoping that he finally lives up to his potential. As Fabio Romano has said, Arsenal want to sign a wide forward, but they're looking for opportunities. And with Bayern not seeing Sane as unsellable and almost setting a price tag that Arsenal could match, is Leroy Sane the opportunity that Arsenal have been waiting for? Well, in terms of the profile, need I say more? An experienced player of the highest standard, and during his time at Man City alongside Mikel Arteta, it's very key to point out how close their relationship was. And during his time at Manchester, when Sane was actually asked about its upturn in form, instead of giving the credit to Guardiola, he was quick to praise Mikel Arteta for his development. So clearly Arteta has already an established relationship, which, as we have seen with the transfers of Zinchenko and Gabriel Jesus, it can be very important. I'm not quite sure if Sane is the exact profile that Arsenal need. Sane thrives on the left hand side, and that's where we have Gabriel Martinelli and Emil Smith-Rowe. It's more on that right hand side to back up and compete with Bukayo Saka. It's more where Arsenal's need for a wide forward comes from. But I'm very wary of jumping on that hype train, because Bayern are a club that is very well run, and they are a club that don't often sell their best players at any cost. If the club of that standard are willing to sell a player like Leroy Sane, then it makes me just a little bit skeptical. Let's also get a word on Pedro Neto. The fact that Wolves have recently signed a brand new wide forward in Gonzalo Guedes. There have been some fans thinking maybe that is because Pedro Neto is on his way out. The reliable Alex Richards is quick to shut the transfer down, saying that Pedro Neto to Arsenal is just speculation and it's not happening. At the same time, I just think the fact that he has 5 years left on his contract, the fact that just like Leroy Sane, he is far more of a left winger than a right winger, and more importantly, I think he's very similar to Gabriel Martinelli. This transfer seems like a lot more of fan speculation over actual substance. But what about PSV's Cody Gakpo? Well, according to Jason Burt of The Telegraph, Gakpo is now looking like a viable signing for Manchester United. We talked about the importance of the Champions League qualifiers in my last video, and since then Gakpo has made it into the Champions League after PSV beat Monaco 3-2. The price tag remains at 30 to 35 million pounds, but with Man United still needing a brand new wide forward and Arsenal not entering any sort of negotiations or making any offers for the player, keeping in mind the Dutch connection of Erik ten Hag, Gakpo to Man United could be a transfer that as Arsenal fans we keep an eye on. According to reports in Portugal, Arsenal have made an official proposal of 40 million euros for Porto winger Pepe. His release clause is 70 million euros, but the player can leave for less than this price. Arsenal have promised the player and his agent to keep pushing to complete his signature, but Arsenal now have other targets. Porto's Brazilian 25-year-old wide forward, and last season in Portugal I think he had 6 goals and 6 assists. They aren't the most impressive of numbers, and in terms of the player himself, I'm not believing these reports that Arsenal have actually made an offer, and I think more or less this is just speculation of Portuguese media seeing that Arsenal want to sign a wide forward and trying to use our name. And in terms of Pepe's and Arsenal, as we have seen with Nicola, it hasn't been the best of relationships, so I don't think that Arsenal are signing another Pepe to replace our last Pepe. But instead, maybe Arsenal make a move for Jeremy Pino, with Ben Jacobs saying there is more substance in his transfer than the other rumours. I have made an inquiry 24 hours back to the agents and there was a coy response. This is one to watch. Based on what people close to the player are saying, there is some truth to this transfer. This goes alongside the reports that have come out of Spain that Arsenal have contacted the agency of the player, and alongside the fact that Edu has recently followed the agency on Instagram. Reports in Spain claim no official offer has been received by Villarreal regarding Jeremy Pino. Arsenal are the only club for him and they are in talks with his agent. Villarreal are asking for 40 to 50 million euros. Out of all of the reported wide forward targets, Jeremy Pino seems to be heating up quite a bit. They seem to have inquired about a price tag, which Arsenal could definitely pay. That being said though, at 19 years of age, paying 40 to 50 million euros, a lot of fans see that as a massive risk, and are not convinced that Pino is the player that Arsenal should sign to back up Bukayo Saka, as they want someone that is far more experienced. And talking about experienced wide forwards, according to Fabrizio Romano, Crystal Palace's Wilfried Zaha could be available for 25 to 30 million pounds. A player that Unai Emery wanted during his time at Arsenal. It looks like Palace are finally accepting it might be time to cash in, and therefore it could be a so-called opportunity, but at the same time, just like Sané and Gakpo, Zaha is far more of a left winger, and I'm not sure he's the profile that Mikel Arteta wants. And if I could sign one wide forward out of Crystal Palace, I'd actually want to see Arsenal sign Michael Olise instead, who could be available for the release clause of 35 million pounds. Moving on to an impromptu Arsenal fitness updates. Starting off with the return of Takehiro Tomiyasu to full Arsenal training. The fact that he also started for the Arsenal under-21s makes it very likely that Tomiyasu will be on the Arsenal bench this Saturday. But alongside Tomiyasu, Emil Smith-Rowe has also returned to full Arsenal training after recovering from a groin injury. Last year when playing the 4-2-3-1, ESR can play as a number 10 and as a left midfielder. But as a left winger in a 4-3-3, I don't think he's better than Gabriel Martinelli. He could of course also play as a number 8, but in pre-season and prior to that, any games that Smith-Rowe has played in the midfield 3, he hasn't quite shown his true levels and he struggled to adapt. The fact that Arsenal have 5 subs, I think ESR could be a tremendous player off the bench, but in terms of the Arsenal starting 11, where do you think a fully fit and in-form ESR is going to play? But talking about attacking midfielders, Fabio Vieira has also returned to full Arsenal training, with reports in Portugal claiming that Vieira is now fit and available for selection against Leicester City as a number 8 to compete with Martin Odegaard 1, but maybe even to play alongside him. This is a transfer that was heavily pushed by Mikel Arteta, and that indicates that Arteta has a plan for Vieira, and I think playing in the midfield 3 at the starts coming off the bench, but once Fabio Vieira truly adapts to English football, in my opinion this could be one of the most underrated signings of the summer transfer window, and hopefully he is able to make his debut off the bench against Leicester this Saturday. According to Calcio Mercato in Italy, Arsenal and AC Milan have held a meeting to discuss midfielder Sandro Tonali. Although Milan have declared he is non-transferable, a proposal worth €55 million would make them consider the offer. 22 years of age, an Italian international, he scored 5 goals and had 2 assists in the Serie A last season as Milan won their first Scudetto in a very long time. And the most important thing is that he is a number 6 type of profile. So he isn't quite the attacking profile that a lot of Arsenal fans want to see Arsenal sign. But at the same time, with the lack of reliability in terms of fitness of Thomas Partey, I do believe that it's very important that Arsenal have a number 6 that is able to deputise if Partey is unavailable. Now Sandro Tonali does fit the bill, but the price tag is massive, and secondly, I just don't think Milan are going to sell him. But of course, when talking about the midfield, you're going to have to mention Leroy Sane. And in the latest twist of the saga, as per Football London, Arsenal are prepared to wait until Leroy Sane's current contract expires to secure him on a free transfer. Arsenal feel as though Leicester's demands in the region of £32 million is currently too high for a player with just 1 year remaining on his deal. Considering Arsenal paid up to £50 million for Gabriel Jesus, who also had just 1 year left on his contract, let's just say that I am highly skeptical of this report. The one thing that is certain is that Tielemans will be at the Emirates Stadium this Saturday, playing against Arsenal for Leicester City. And maybe Tielemans can use it as an audition in front of Arteta and the Arsenal fan base and truly show our entire club what he's made of and why Arsenal should be signing him. Moving on to the other Arsenal news today, and starting off with Charlie Patino on loan to Blackpool in the Championship, and in his first competitive start he was on fire. Playing 70 minutes, making 73 touches, 43 passes, 4 crosses, 4 successful long balls, 6 ground balls won, 2 fouls won, 1 interception and 4 tackles, earning him the official Man of the Match award. So just like Nuno Tavares, the Gunners on loan are taking over. It is beautiful scenes, and more importantly, Patino for me is definitely a player that us Arsenal fans need to keep an eye on. Patino is a profile as a number 8 that could thrive under Mikel Arteta, and the way that he glides with the ball reminds me quite a bit of a certain Frankie de Jong. Moving on to Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, one of the main topics in Arsenal's latest episodes of the All or Nothing documentary, but could also potentially be on his way back to London. As per Fabrizio Romano, Thomas Tuchel of Chelsea is pushing Todd Bowley to sign Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang as he considers him the perfect striker. Chelsea are looking to sign Aubameyang, who of course now has Robert Lewandowski to compete with as a starting Barcelona striker. I don't think it's out of all possibilities that Chelsea can sign Aubameyang, and if that was to be the case, with him being an ex-Arsenal captain, I'm sure that a lot of Arsenal fans will have their own opinions that I would love to know of yours down below in the comments. But that is the video there, and if you have enjoyed, don't forget to smash a like and subscribe if you are new. If you would like to follow your boy on all of his social medias, then the links are down below in the description. But that was today's episode of the Transfers FC. Now, Arsenal have wide forwards and midfielders on their radar, but I think it's about time that if they're going to sign someone, we start making some actual moves. But until then, take care of yourselves, and in a bit.